So the next part is the head. And again, I put on the decals on this just so I can move this build along. I put the face mask on this. And then this part goes into the back like that. Then we have the front part. Now put the V-fin, which I kind of like this V-fin design. This is actually pretty nice. It's all one part. It has pretty much the side mask around with the fin, so it looks pretty nice. I didn't like the little thing here, so I shaved it off. This is very dangerous when you shave it off. You really got to be very careful in what you do. You can accidentally break this part off, so you got to be careful for those of you who want to do this. And then we have the clear part that, okay, you know what, I guess I got to put it on first before this, because it goes above that. There we go. So that goes like that. It goes like that. And then there's a clear part here that you have to stick it onto this. Oh, let's see if I can do it. There we go. Alright, that's pretty nice. It's actually pretty cool. I like it. Alright, let's move on to the next part. Alright, so the next part is the weaponry. So I guess now Bandai is trying to do this, like, get the weaponry out of the way. Don't leave it at the end of the build. I think that's okay. So we have this, we have the hilt that goes there. Then we close this part. We have the gun barrel here, which of course there's no way of putting this in correctly. There's a notch here, so just be very careful and put it in like that. And then there's a red trim here that, I guess, let's see now. Okay, you put that over here. And then you put this one over here. This one, okay, so this is interesting. It has the same support setup that you find in the GN3 blades, or the GN3 sword. All you need to do is clamp it on and it's not going to fall off. I kind of like that. Really nice. It's a pretty nice gun too. Moving on to the next build would be the shield. Not too much parts in the shield, so you're not going to go wrong with this. Let's see. I'm going to take this part, put it in here. Oh, yeah, here. By the way, you see these notches over here? You have a thicker set of notches here, while you have a thin set of notches. The thin set goes in the inside, while the thicker ones goes to the back. Like that. You want to repeat the process here, and then you want to take this guy, clamp it over it, like so. And I guess the effect is it goes like that. There we go. So the weapons are done for this kit. Let's move on to the next part. Alright, so now we're going to work on the arms with the Reborns Gundam Trans. First up, we will need some polycaps here. PC1. Here it is. And we'll take this guy, and this guy over here. Alright, so that takes care of this part. And then taking this part here, putting this like that, and this one over here, and then closing it up so that the arms, the shoulders are done. There's another part here. Maybe I'm premature me saying done, but the yellow trim, this type of trim here is very nice. How it falls onto this, and we have this part that, if I'm not mistaken, has to be in this position, and then you will fall upon the clamps, like the circular pegs, and clamp it on like that. So this part is done. Now, this one is a bit tricky. We'll need another PC1. While it's in this position, I'm going to take this part here, keep it up like that, close this up, and then taking one of the GN drives here, I'm going to make sure that the notch is like that. Snaps into play, and clearly this part prevents these two parts from opening up. Now we'll need this and this. We'll need this poly cap here. Now, according to this, you want to keep this one in this position facing down, and then bring this part like so down here, and then you close it up. There we go. Alright, so again, this is tricky. Take him, or this. Actually, no, my apologies. We take this part, we steer on this part, and then we take this one that goes through the hole here. Then you take this, slide it into there, as you can see, and then you close it up like this. Now finally, with the GN drives, we'll move it into position like this. You take this trickle part here, slide it down. You take this part here, put it. You could do either one of two ways. You could put it here first, or you can stick it on this part. But I'll do it this way. And then you bring down the arms like so, or the shoulder. And then finally you put the last part of the hands. Oops, I didn't see that. Come on, there we go. I'll shave this off a bit. There we go. And once you put this on, there you have it. The arms of the Reborns Gundam is done. Let's move on to the next part. So now we're going to move on to the legs of the Reborns Gundam. And first step we're going to do is we're going to assemble the feet. Now, I'm sorry, I kind of got a little apprehensive here and I started putting some parts together. But there are two parts here to make up the heel. So that's taken care of. Then you have this inner joint that, I'm going to try this one first. This is a lot easier. You take this part, slide it in like that, so it looks like this, and it has to be in this position, by the way. And then you take the rectangle part, put it through here. Now before you seal this up, you have this part, and then you slide this plastic peg here and attach it over here like so, and then you seal it up like that. Now I get the heel and I put it on the back end here. By the way, putting this heel will seal up this part so it won't split up. But there is a little trick here that you have to be aware of for this, for the front foot. You'll need this part and this part. Begin with the bottom one first. There's a little notch under there, as you can see. So the notch will go here, and then this part will go right over it. And then carefully you seal it together, like so. So it looks like this. See? So that foot is done. Now, next part is the legs. Now, I've already got this part already in by. So now we get. Actually, excuse me. Let's see here. I gotta make sure I got the right orientation. Alright. Before we put this part on. Hang on a second. Where did I put it? I was just moving around a second ago. Oh, here it is. There. You have this little red part that goes into this foot. It goes into this thigh. And it has to go in this direction. Oh, by the way, there's a notch there so you can't go wrong with the direction. So you slide it in. Then you take the polycap. There's a hole in the polycap that you can actually put onto this. This will align the orientation of the polycap. So when you close the leg, which should have worked, but we'll do it again. Come on. Normally you could do it the other way, like this. Put it onto here. So you know that the alignment is going to go in perfectly. And then you just close it up, like so. And then over here you have this yellow pink trim that goes right there. And I kind of like this one. This is very smooth. Another poly cap. Have this ready. There we go. Number 1. Numero uno. And I'm looking at the wrong. Yes, Godzilla, I know. Okay, here it is. Back to the menu. So I gotta do that and that. Okay. The round part goes into this hole. Now, while this this part is in this position, as you can see here. I don't know if I have enough light so you guys can see this. I guess I got more emails today. You want to take this part and you want to slide it in here, so it looks like that. The reason for this is then you get the legs here, and you will need this leg. Oop, I did it right the first time. You need this leg. You adjust the polycap part that goes here to this hole, and then there should be a notch here. Yeah, there we go. And then apply the notch here, so it looks like annoying, are you? I slide that in there and I slide that in there, so it looks like this. And before you seal it up, you want to put the bottom polycap here, which will help hook up the foot, and then carefully seal it up. So the effect would be like this, as you can see. Alright. We're almost done with this, so to speak. Actually, I need this, I need this, I need this. You guys go over there for a second. Now, this part goes here, like so. However, it will not attach like so, because it needs this little cap. And for there's a notch here that goes into the back of the calf, as you can see there. So it falls in like this. Be careful not to force this in. You'll have I made a mistake and I had a tough time pulling it out. There we go. Now, I'm going to put the last part here. Then we put the foot and the leg. The leg to the foot. And that completes this. It looks like female legs. But the legs for the Reborns is done. Let's move on to the next part.